Greetings, Minecrafters! Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 20 of my Resonant Rise 3 Let's Play. Alright, today I've got a plan. We're going to start with a new mod, for this series at least. As you can see, I've also done some color changing. The red has turned to blue, because I want the Phlebotorium, our blood magic room, to be colored red, and the Thaumcraft room, the Thaumaturgery, to be colored purple. And we're going to add another room to that. But I've also extended the corridor, and I've made a new section of the base here. No ceiling yet, and I'm missing a lot of walls still, but this will be sort of my area for additional machinery and just little devices here and there that have to be manually operated every now and then, at least for now. Automate all the things. And a couple of hallways going off that way and that way eventually. And I'll probably have a door right here, because on the opposite side I've got the new room. Right here. And if you can guess from the color, this is the conservatory. This will be the Botania room. As you can see, I've laid out all what I have planned for this room, including this thing in the middle, which we'll come to much later. The portal to Alfheim will be here. So let's get started. Now I've run some cable over here, so I've got access to all my stuff. So let's get started with Botania. Now, one of the first things you want to make in Botania is the Petal Apothecary. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I actually don't have any petals made, so let's look. I've got a number of flowers, so let's take a flower, get some petals. We'll be needing those. And let's make the Petal Apothecary. Here it is, just cobblestone. I don't think I've got the half slabs handy. Now I do. And it doesn't matter what color petal. I'm going to use the red. And there we go, the Petal Apothecary. But I'm not just going to do a Petal Apothecary, which is going to go right here. I'm going to have it embedded in the floor, like that. But you have to keep this thing filled with water. I don't like doing that manually. So let's do a little bit of automation. And I've dug out some stuff, dug out some room here, and made some things to get started. And the first thing I want to do is put down this reservoir from Ender.io. Put down 4 of them like that, and you get a water tank of sorts. I'll now fill it with 2 buckets of water, and it now will act as a never-ending supply of water. Alright? Like the ever full urn that a lot of people use. Let me fill these back up again. But now I want to make this all automated, so I've got a couple of autonomous activators here. A tesseract, some item conduits, some item filters. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to place one autonomous activator like that. So see, it's aimed at the water tank. Alright? Which means if we put an empty bucket in it, it's going to fill it. There it goes. See, it also unfilled it until this thing was full, and then it can't unfill it. So that will fill up buckets. But now, yeah, I want to have the input blue over here and the output over here. All right, so far so good. We're going to be sending in empty buckets. It's going to fill them up, and it's going to output full buckets. This one is going to be aimed up. This is going to be where the Petal Apothecary is, which when you right-click it with a full bucket, fills it up. So now we need to get the items from one place to another. Okay, that was the right. Okay, that one should be the input, and that's the output. All right, so they have to be opposite. Oh, excuse me. Have to be opposite colors here. So this is going to be, the bucket's going to travel in this direction, counterclockwise. So it's come out the orange and in the blue. Out the orange, in the blue. Alright, now we need a way to get them around the circle. That will put down some of this item conduit. Now again, we're going to have to hit these things and say that's the insert side. And this is the extract side. But we only want to extract from this one empty buckets because they've been used. So let's stick an empty bucket in the filter. Set this to always be extracting and inserting over here. Okay, on this one, we want to extract only full buckets. We put a filter in and say full bucket, always extracting and inserting over here. Whoa, yeah, that worked already. It just used a bucket in that spot. Let's go ahead and put down the Petal Apothecary, which now is full. So that is working. I was using them before, so they've got a little bit of power in them. But that power should be drained. If I put a bunch of buckets in, this should start going down. I thought it should go down. Maybe that's a bug. Maybe they only need to be powered once. Well, I'm going to assume it's a temporary bug, and we're going to do it the right way. We're going to give them some power. So for that, I'm going to stick a Tesseract down here, which is set up to receive power only. And I'm going to disconnect this, because I don't want any items going to it for any reason. And I'm going to hit this with a power cable, which is going to take up the same place, the way Ender IO cables do. And now that'll be giving them both power. So they should both be filled with full buckets. Eventually this one will come around again, because this goes round robin. It goes through all of them. There it goes. And every now and then one will be empty, because if it can hit this thing before it fills back up automatically. There, they're all full. So we now have a Petal Apothecary that will keep itself full without any input from me. Very handy. And all hidden away under the floor. Alright, the next thing we need to do. We need to make some pure daisies. This is the very next thing you need to do. And for that you need the white flowers in particular. And I want to get 2 pure daisies, and they each take 4. So I need 8 petals. And I need 2 seeds. Now I've got a lot of magical seeds. I've got far more uranium seeds than I have regular seeds, but hey, this works. So right now we're going to have to still do this thing manually. But this will be automated in the future. 1, 2, 3, 4, and seed. And we get a pure daisy, and it's filled back up with water again. So we can do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a seed. And we get a pure daisy, and it fills back up again. Hooray. Next, these areas. This is where I'm going to set up an automatic system to make living wood. That'll be the next thing we need. So again, I've got a few more things prepared here. We're going to use Steve Factory Manager because it works really well with Botania. I seem to have one less of those than I need, but I can get that later. We need one of these, and can't quite tell which of these is which. I'll assume that's the right one. Alright. So, Steve's Factory Manager, and this is just my tunnel with all the cable going around the base. There'll be more as I need to expand around the whole room. But that's not what we're dealing with right now. Right now we're just putting down some inventory cable. And we do it in a shape like this. This is to connect all the pieces together to this guy, the Machine Inventory Manager, where we'll write our program. So on top of each of these, we want to put block gates. Block gates take an inventory cable, one of these, and a iron pickaxe and a dispenser, I think. We're just going to go around and place them facing up. And now we're going to shift right click on each of their faces. That solves a small problem with them. Which, if I leave one of them, see if I click it without shifting, we'll see what happens there. And actually, I did this down too low. Hold on. I dug out too deep a hole. Or maybe I accidentally expanded it when I was building the base, or building the cabling. Let me fill it in. So not quite so deep. Okay. Do this again. Inventory cable. Of course it would start raining. Like that. Okay. And I can go ahead and fill in like that. And there. Sure, why not? Alright, that's all we need. That buried in the ground. Then the manager goes here. And the block gates go on top again. And we're going to clear them all out. And I'll leave one open just so you can see how why we do that. Now we have two chests. One of these is my return chest. That's where anything that goes in there gets sent back into my system. Private chest. This one, I got the right one. Good. Brown. I already have something set up, another one of these set up, filling it with wood from my AE system. And let me get rid of the rain. Okay, no more rain. Now I want to put a piece of dirt here in the middle, and that will be where our pure daisy will go. Alright. Now what this is going to do, and you see I have left this one pointing upwards. Shift click to put it down, regular right click to bring it up. What we're going to do is we're going to make two variables, not a for each. Delete that. Variable. This variable starts out white, and we're going to make it be all of our block gates. Alright. Then you need a second variable, which needs its color changed, which is why it has the exclamation point. We'll make that the next color, orange. We'll name this one all gates. And we'll call this one one gate. But we're not going to set a container. We're going to leave that blank. That's going to be done for us. Alright. I'm going to trigger. It's going to start the whole process off. Alright, first I want to show you how things can go wrong here. And then that'll help us explain why things go right when you do it the right way. We're just do a simple trigger input-output. So every 1 second, we're going to input something from this chest, so where our wood is. And what we're going to import is some of the oak. We're going to right-click this, say specify amount, and leave it as 1. So we only want one piece of wood. So we get one piece of wood, and we're going to put it in the first block gate. Now this is the one right here that it's pointing upwards completely. So we're going to connect this all up, and we'll see what's going to go wrong. We got 2, and it's spitting out more wood. That is not what we want. All right. So why is it doing this? Let's stop it and get rid of this. Oh, I got rid of my daisy. All right. It's the pointing up that causes that 2 pieces of wood. If we point it down, that shouldn't happen. We could also put like glass covers just 1 block above, or anything up 1 block above, and it'll keep it from doing it. But this way is a little bit more clean. So now let's do it again. See, now we only have 1. We don't have that second one. So that's why you shift click the top to make it point down. But it's still outputting all this extra wood, so what's up with that? All right, what we need to do, the way the block gates work, when you put something into them, it places the block in front of it. When you can take something out of it, it takes the block in front of it. Basically breaks it, mines it. So if I had stone there and I broke it, I would get cobblestone, because they don't do silk touch. So at the same time, you can ask it what's in front of it, and it'll tell you. But it won't tell you what's in front of it, it'll tell you what it would get if it broke it. So if it has a piece of stone in front of it, smooth stone, and you ask it what's in front of it, it'll say cobble. So we're going to do a condition here. Let's move these down out of the way. We want to see if there's already a piece of wood in front of it. Actually, fine with anything, but we know it's going to be wood, so let's go with oak. And there isn't an anything option yet. All right, so if there's a piece of oak, we have true and false paths. I'm going to say only on the false path do we want to input from the chest and output to the block gate. So let's do that. Yeah, the flower already changed it. And let's take the flower up. All right, so it's not spitting out extra wood. We take one away, it places another one. Take one away, places another one. But it's only placing one now. All right, that's what we want. But we want this to do it to all of them. Now we could repeat this multiple times for all of them, or we could maybe do this. But no, it's not going to work. See? Didn't work. Well, that way, that's the condition. Well, the condition is checking any of them. Yeah, with the condition, you don't want to do... Yeah, basically, we don't want to repeat. So actually, let's turn the whole thing off. We want to do that one program that we wrote, but for each of the block gates. So we have the for each loop. That's why we created our variables. Put it on this side. With the for each, you give it two variables. The first is the list. Here, the white one is all of our block gates. So this is basically a list of all of our block gates. The second one is the element. And this is the orange one. And it's not set to anything. What'll happen is, when this triggers, this block will send control down this path, whatever's attached to this, once for each item in this list. There's 8 of them, so it's going to go down this path 8 times. And each time it goes down that path, this orange variable will be set to one of the block gates for each time it goes down. So now if we say, have our condition input and output, but instead of pointing to specifically to one of these block gates, we go into this V icon here, the variables, and say orange. Whatever one the orange is pointing to, that's the one you want to check to see if it has something in front of it. If it doesn't, pull something out of the chest and put it not into that block gate, but into the orange one. So the orange one is going to change each of the time this runs. So now we hook this up, boom, they all get their wood. And if any one of them is broken, it's replaced. But nothing is spitting out extra ones. It's not trying to place blocks when there's already a block there, resulting in a drop. All right, that's great. But now we also want to pick up this living wood. You see, I've got the one piece. Because that's what the pure daisy does. It'll turn slowly any oak around it, or any logs of any of the woods, I believe, into living wood. So we need to pick that up when it's changed. So right now this condition is checking to see if what's in front of it is oak. And it's going down the false. But when it's false, it may also be living wood. So right now, if these change, it's going to say, oh, I don't have oak in front of me. I need to place another piece of oak. But there's living wood in front of it. It's going to spit it out as an item. And I'm going to get 8 pieces of log as items pulled to me with my magnet every second as soon as these all change. So that's not good. So what we want to do is check to see if what's in front of it is living wood. So let's make another condition. I guess we can keep that connected and just see it go wrong while I'm setting up this one. This one we're going to, again, check the orange. Oh, there we go. Yep, see? I'm getting all that wood because it's saying, oh, there's no oak logs in front of me now, so let's break it. There's no oak in front of me. I can go ahead and put down more wood, and I just got, stacks of wood. All right, so now we need to stop that. So basically, false, there's no oak in front of it, but we need to make sure that there's no living wood in front of it. So we've set the variable to orange. So that's our whatever one we're looking at. And we're going to say, go in this, do it this way, living wood. All right, we'll put that here. And if that's false as well, we can place our oak. So nothing's happening now. So it's checking this. This condition is checking to see if there's oak. There isn't. It's checking to see if there's living wood. If there isn't, it'll go ahead and place some oak. But there is. So it's actually triggering this path. Well, there's nothing attached to it, so it ends the program. But when this stuff is changed, now we want to actually do something with it. We want to get it. Let's put this over here. Keep everything nice and balanced and neat. We want to input from whichever block gate we're talking about, orange again. And we're just going to say blacklist, whatever's in front of it, because we now know what's in front of it is the living wood, because the condition is only true if there's living wood. So now we'll pick up the living wood, and we're going to output it to the output chest, which is here. Oh, need to connect that, and it's all gone. And it's been replaced, because it ran again a second later on the trigger for each of the gates. If there's oak wood, no. If there's living wood, no, there wasn't any, so it placed oak wood. Right now it's coming in and says, is there oak wood? Yes, and it's dropping out this true path and doing nothing. As soon as the oak changes, then there isn't any more oak. It'll check living wood. There is living wood. It'll harvest it, and it'll drop off the bottom. It'll come back in again. No oak, no living wood, place oak. So this one little program does everything. And it's done. This will now take all of the oak in here and turn it to living wood and add it to our chest. I can get rid of this stuff too. But not only does this do living wood, the Pure Daisy also does living stone. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. And because you just saw it, I'm going to do it off camera. And it's done. And actually, I've turned it off. I've disconnected the trigger because I stopped to get some dinner and spend some time with the family, and it's already generated 1,500 and 1,600 of each. So I've turned them both off. So all right, we've got plenty of those, and it's easy enough just to reconnect the trigger to get more. All right. That step is done. Next, we need to start generating some mana. So the next thing we want to do is the Day Bloom. This is your starter flower for generating power. You don't want to put them next to each other. You want to always put them in a checkerboard pattern. And it uses 2 yellow, a light blue, and an orange, which I've got right here. We also want to do the other beginner mana producer, the Nightshade, which is a purple, gray, and 2 blacks. Now these two, one works during the day and one works during the night. So toss those in, and we've got the 2 flowers. And I'll be setting them up down here. So they're like that. Now I'm going to make a whole bunch more of those, and I'll be right back. Alright, we are generating some mana, but it's not going anywhere. So the next thing we want to do is use some of our living wood to make some branches, living wood twigs. Gonna need at least 3 of those here. 2, 3 like that, and then we need some petals. Let's go with, oh, why not red? You need 2. And there you get the wand of the forest. This is your Botania wrench, as it were. If I click any of these, you can tell it's nighttime. Yep, because the night blooms have mana in them. They're almost all full already. But the day blooms are empty because they only work during the day. Having them both gives you continuous mana production, and also by alternating them like this, you keep them happy so that none of them are next to each other. But they're all full, so now it's not doing anything more. So we need to make some more items here. We need to make a mana spreader right here, which is more living wood, gold, and a petal. Doesn't matter which color. I'll use a red one. We also want to make a mana pool. And you start off making the diluted mana pool, which is just living rock. So that's the other material we've learned to make. Now, I'm going to place the mana spreader there, and I'm going to place the pool in front of it. And there it goes. You see that burst? If we now take our wand, and look, they're now empty. Even the ones over here on the edges. It's always good to look at the ones on the edges to make sure they can see the spreader. Because they will find the closest spreader to them. In fact, by putting your wand over one, notice when I look over the flowers, it highlights the mana spreader. See, it's getting that border, that rainbow-colored border, to tell you which one that they're associated with. That'll be important later on when you're getting more complicated steps to make sure things are pointing to the right place. Because a mana spreader can only take so much. You see it's got a little bit in it. It can only take so much so fast. So if you have too much attached to one spreader, you're going to be wasting some of your mana. You're just not going to be able to move it fast enough. But this is fine. These guys don't produce it very fast. It's still nighttime. So the nightshades are generating, but you see they're all empty. It's because they're all giving it to the mana spreader, which is slowly going up. See, it's going up. Once it gets up to a certain threshold, it will send a burst of mana along this path that we can see as long as we have our wand active into the pool. And you can already see we got a little bit of mana in there. Like if I click it, you can see it's got some. But this diluted mana pool can't hold a lot. So we need to make a better mana pool. And we do that by making another diluted mana pool right here. How to get extra spreaders? I must have made too many. Now, as I come over here holding this regular diluted mana pool and looking at this one, there's a little tooltip in the middle of the screen saying, diluted mana pool, check mark. That means there's enough mana in here to do this operation. So I'm going to now toss it in. And now this is a regular mana pool, not a diluted one. And now I'm just going to go ahead and break this. You lose the mana when you do that. But I'm going to get the better mana pool and put that down. So it'll hold a lot more. So now we just have a bit of a waiting game to let these collect up enough mana so that we can continue moving on with the mod. And there you got the first burst. Let's see if we have enough. Now see, right now there's not enough in there to turn this first mana pool into, this first diluted mana pool into a regular mana pool. It says, nope, not enough. So we'll have to wait. Now, in the future, we will have faster methods of producing mana, but we'll get to those in a bit. So I will be right back. All right, some time has passed. We have enough mana. We can now toss this. Oh, I missed. Toss the pool in, and it's now an upgraded mana pool. And we can use that later on. Now, there are other things we can toss in. And one of the things I'm going to need to do is do this. Mana Pearl to, Ender Pearl to Mana Pearl. So we're going to need to use that to make our next item. Next item is the Runic Altar. And you can use either a mana diamond, which is a diamond thrown in, or an ender pearl. We're going to use this one with some living stone. And that's going to go over here. So this is the Runic Altar. Sort of like the Petal Apothecary, you're going to put things on this, and you're going to get something out. But the difference is it needs mana to run. So we're going to need another spreader. Take one of these extra ones I made. And we're going to put the spreader on top of this pool. So it's going to pull mana from the pool and beam it. But at the moment, you can see it's sort of moving, aimed in this direction, not directly at that Runic Altar. It's off to the side. So we need to re-aim it to face it over here. You can see there's the path. And you can just barely see it. There's a sparkle right here. You should see it right on the line. That is how far it can go before it starts losing energy, before it starts losing mana. It'll keep going past that, but thankfully this is close enough. Alright, now the wand, when you crouch right-click, it switches between two modes. You can see that in the middle of the screen there it says bind mode or function mode. It also gets a leaf on its icon, which you see down the... You can see it on the edge of the one that I'm holding or down on the left side of the screen next to my armor. It's getting a leaf or not. We want it with the leaf in the bind mode. Now we can crouch right-click this guy. He gets the border. And crouch right-click this one. And if you watch it, it's going to move. There. See, it's aimed right at it now. Right at the center of it. So it's actually rotated the block a little bit. And if we aim the wand at this... Excuse me again. If we aim the wand at this spreader, it lights up the edges of the Runic Altar to say what it's aimed at. Alright, so nothing's actually going there right now. If we switch away from the wand, you see it's nothing's happening. This thing won't take power, take mana, until it's got a good recipe on it that it wants to work on. So what can we make with this thing? Alright. We are going to make runes. That's these things right here. There's a lot of them. Only the first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be a 5th one. Air, earth, fire. Oh, that's water. Okay, there's water. We can also make Rune of Mana. I don't think that one requires any of the runes. Nope, okay. So water requires these items. 3 mana steel. We'll have to make some of that. Fishing rod, sugar canes, and bone meal. The fire, also 3 mana steel. Nether brick, gunpowder, nether wart. As you can see, so each one of these requires different ingredients. And some amount of mana. But you get 3 for each of these fire, air, water, and earth. The mana one, which requires all mana steel except for a mana pearl, you only get 1. So, but I think it takes less, yeah, it uses less mana, 1/3 less mana probably. Or maybe just half, I don't know. So we're going to be making these. But let me stop and see which one we want to make first. Because right now we don't have much mana still. This is a very mostly empty pool. But we need to figure out what we want to do next. And I'll be right back. Alright, we want to make earth and fire are the 2 that I want. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is make some of that mana steel we saw in the recipe. And that, as you can see, is just iron into a mana pool. So 1, 2, 3. And that one didn't go in. Pick that up again. I don't need 22 yet. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Alright. Just need 3 to start with. I'm going to make more, but just 3 to start with. Alright, we come over to this guy. Now you can either toss them on there, and I missed. Okay, toss it on there. There it goes. See it now, it's rotating around. Or you can right-click, but I'm just going to go ahead and toss them all on. And the 3... Oh, I missed with the 3 mana steel. There we go. They're all on there. Now that is all it needs to make the recipe, but it's going to need mana from this thing. And to start the process, we click it with a wand. And now there's a tooltip there in the middle of the screen showing me that I'm making the Rune of Fire. And there's a little green pie wedge that's getting bigger on it. That is the progress. So as the mana flows over to it, that will fill in. And when it's done, when that is completely filled in, it's ready for the next step. There is another step, and that's where the living rock comes in. We're going to have to toss the living rock on top when it's reached the final completion point. That's about a quarter of the way there. So I'll be back when it's ready. Alright, as you can see, the pie chart there is completely filled in. We're getting these lightning effects. We are now ready for the next step, which all it requires is tossing a piece of living rock on top, and I missed. No, I didn't. I got it. And then hitting it with the wand again, and my magnet picked it up. Alright, let's do that again. Toss it on. No, not my. Toss the living rock on, and I missed. Toss the living rock on, hit it with a wand, and there we go. We get 3. And if you don't pick them up soon enough, they will get absorbed by the table. But you can right-click with or shift-right-click with an empty hand, and you can get them out. So let me get the other 2 out. There we go. 3 Runes of Fire. Very good. I forgot to make 3. I even said it myself. I don't need to make 8. So how much mana we have left? That probably used up a good bit. We're doing okay. Let's go ahead and make a Rune of Earth. So let me get the stuff. I'll be right back. Alright, time to make a Rune of Earth. That is a mushroom, a block of coal, a piece of smooth stone, and 3 mana steel, which we have to go over here and make in our pool. So 1, come on, 1, 2, missed. 3, there we go. Put things back where they should be. There. Good enough. Alright, and the 3 mana steel. And one of them manned it, and the other 2 didn't. This thing is rather annoying to have to work with. We're going to automate it. We shouldn't have to do this too much more. But there we go. We got all the ingredients. Again, hit it with the wand to start it off. And there we get the tooltip showing that it's progressing. So once again, I will be back when it is done. Alright, looks like it's ready. Let's give it a whack. Oh wait, and yeah. What did I forget? I forgot the living rock. Gotta give it the living rock. And whack. Whack. I don't think it was actually in the right spot. Let's try it again here. And whack. There we go. 3 Runes of Earth. Yeah, definitely want to automate this. Make it all automatic. And we can do it. And Steve's Factory Manager is definitely going to be a lot of help there too. But now that I've got these runes, we want to get mana going a little bit faster. So let's look in our book for the generating flora. And there's lots of choices. Endoflames will burn up any burnables, anything that you could use as fuel in a furnace. A lot of people go with that. Gormorillus will eat food, like steak and so forth. Think this one, well, you can read them all. They all are different ways of producing power, from TNT to sucking up water to eating cake. But this is the one I want, the Thermalily. These use lava, and it takes a Rune of Fire and a Rune of Earth, a mystical orange petal, mystical red petal, and an orange mana petal. So, that's a little different. So let's look at our petals here. Well, let's look at our flowers. We're going to need, ignore that. That'll come in a moment. we're going to need, we can make 3 of them. So we need, whoop, made a lot more of those than I meant to. 3 of those and 6 of these. Why do I keep doing that? Because the recipe was 2 orange and 1 red, but one of these oranges is mana. And I can tell you we get that by doing the same thing we did with everything else that has mana in front of its name. We toss it in the pool, as you can see in the little cheat there. So 1, 1, 1. Oh, I should not have put this thing directly on top. Got 1, 2, 3. All right, there. Got all 3. So let's get a couple of seeds. There we go. And run over here to our petal apothecary. And we're going to start tossing a few things in. We have the 3 petals and the 2 runes, followed by the seeds, which I got twice as many. All right. So hit toss, 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 toss. There's a thermal lily. And let's do the rest. This one's not so bad. There we go. 3 thermal lilies. It's a start. Now, they need lava. So, I am going to use some lava fabrication using RF power. So I have here the lava fabricator from Mine Factory Reloaded and the fountain. But before we go, I want to do one more thing. Be right back. Okay, just had to collect some items. All right. Now, one thing we're going to do with these thermal lilies to make them a little bit more robust, since they'll be right next to lava, is turn them into something slightly different. For that, we're going to need pasture seeds. Pasture seeds, you take long grass, as you can see there, and toss them into a mana pool. There we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Should have 3 once I get that one. There we go. 3 pasture seeds. So you take 3 dirt, 3 pasture seeds, and our 3 thermal lilies. Stack them. Well, no. Excuse me. Not the thermal lilies. Any other mana flower. You have to do this first. What did I do wrong? Oh, yes. All right, first, you take your flour and you mix it with 2 glowstone, and you get a glimmering flower. So I'm going to get 3 of those. That you mix with the pasture seed and the dirt, and you get a floating flower. All right. And that you mix with a thermal lily to get a floating thermal lily. Confusing process. But what this does is it makes a flower that you don't have to plant on any dirt because it has its own built-in dirt and it looks cool. Isn't that cool? I love that. All right, so let's set this up. We're also going to need a tesseract. I hope I have one. I don't have one finished. Let me quickly cook one up here. That one's ready. Just got to... Oh, come on. Give me the right recipe. This. There. And then do that. All right. So we've got a tesseract. So I'm going to put it over here. So I'm going to put the tesseract there, and I'm going to put it on my frequencies, set it to receive power. There we go. I'm going to need to break that one as well. Next to it, I'm going to put the lava fabricator. That's going to start generating lava nice and fast because I got tons of power. And then we're going to put the fountain on it, but not yet because lava's just going to go everywhere. We're going to put our 3 thermal lilies down. And actually, let's bring one of those thermal lilies over here. Let's put that down for just a moment there. Thermalily. Okay. Since I only have 3 thermalilies, I'm going to just get a strip. Strip of, sure, carpet strip. Why not? I got plenty of those. And for some reason, the carpet won't burn. That'll just trap the lava on this side. And now I can put down the fountain. Now, the fountain does require power, I believe. Yes. So we're going to need to get a power cable. Don't tell me I'm out of power cables. Conduit. I am. Alright, well, that's okay. All I need is a basic one. I got the materials for that. There we go. Stick that down here. There we go. We got lava. And you see it disappeared there for a moment. And if we check all of these thermalilies, they're all lighting up this spreader. That's not the spreader we want. Break that spreader. Now they're all highlighting the other spreader. That's the one we want. Now we should be able to put back down this spreader. And, yep, they're all still linked to the other one. They look for the closest one when they're placed. And if that one is removed, they will look for a new closest one. But they won't resync to the closest one just any time. So right now they're all looking at the one on the ground that's going like crazy. And I need to repoint this one here for later. But look at it go. Well, it was going. Because they had built up a little power. Now they're, until they eat more lava, which they will in a moment. As soon as they do, it looks like they're all in a cool-down period here. They're all steamy. Okay, yes, I forgot. The thermalilies have been nerfed. They now have an 8-minute cooldown. That's going to change my plans. Because here they're going to not generate anything for 8 minutes. They were sort of vital to this design over here. And now, to do the same sort of output, I'm going to need 8 times as many thermalilies. These green blocks were the thermalilies. The ones in the upper section here. I'm going to have to think about that. I may want to try something else. They were very convenient, though. Alright, well, I'll look at some of the other ones. I know I've used some of the other ones to generate power before, and I don't know which one is best these days. Sounds like they've been doing a lot of balancing. I think they've reduced the 8 minutes to 6 and then put it up to 7 and did some other numbered crunching. But the version we have right now, they're at 8 minutes of cooldown. So that's going to put a kink in things. Alright, well, I'll think about it. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I'm going to definitely do some experimenting before I decide. But I'll be doing that off camera. And I'll show you my results. In the meantime, if you like. And if you want to subscribe. And if you want to tell your friends, or even total strangers on the street to come watch the videos. If nobody's watching, there's no point in doing it. So for now, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.